Ranking JoJo stands, Part 1, Stardust Crusaders. So first up we have Star Platinum. This is a very basic, beginner-friendly stand. It's got like the basic stuff, everybody knows Star Platinum and the Ora Ora and all that. It's got the super strength, super speed, the vision enhancement, like what he does with the picture, and who could forget the classic Star Finger? Uh, with that, I would put it in A tier because Star Platinum is a very good stand. But with that plus Star Platinum, the World, which can stop time for 2 seconds in Part 4, and I think in Part 6, it goes to 5 seconds. It is an S. Next, we have Magician Red. Magician's Red is very goated, but it also has a problem where you can't really use it much because it's very environmental and it will destroy people and things around you. So because of that, B tier, still very good. Hermit Purple. Hermit Purple is very depends on how you look at it. It's very versatile, but its main function of like destroying like technology just to see like an image or like get an answer for something from like different like radio channels or television channels is kind of mid. But I do like it when like Joseph could have been like Spider-Maning like around Egypt and whatnot. I just can't really see Hermit Purple being above C. Hierophant Green, I really like its design. Its design alone is B tier. Its puppet manipulation is good. I like Emerald Splash. I'm gonna give it A tier. I like Hierophant Green just because of its design. I'll give it A. I like all of its abilities, and I like Kakyoin. Silver Chariot. Silver Chariot's an S tier. It's one of my favorite stands. Probably it's probably in my top five. Really like Silver Chariot, even though it's kind of just the sword version of Star Platinum with just a lot less things. I like Silver Chariot. Polnareff is probably my favorite Crusader, and yeah. Next we have the Fool. Now this might come as a surprise, but I think the Fool is one of the most underrated stands in the series. Sand manipulation is good, and if I like its design, I like how it's like got wheels and stuff, and I also really like Iggy. And I think the Fool is S tier. Arguably, I think it competes with Star Platinum and Silver Chariot. And be on the lookout for the next video where we're gonna be talking about Dio's henchmen. Alright, boys. Welcome back to Ranking JoJo Stands. We're still in part 3. And in my last video, I said we're gonna just be ranking Dio's henchmen, which technically we still are. It's just, we're going to be ranking a lot more because I decided this was originally going to be a YouTube short series. I'm just going to make it a video series. So we're going to be ranking pretty much the first half of villains from part 3, which is all of the remaining tarot users except the world, because we're going to save the world for last because Dio. So starting off, we have Tower of Grey. Tower of Grey is very weird because it doesn't really have like a signature ability. It's just like a really strong like beetle or a bug or fly or whatever it is. I mean, it's not D because it's really not the worst. But like it's kind of like Hermit Purple. Like it has potential. It's just like only certain people could use these stands in like really good scenarios. The only thing going for Tower of Grey is that it's just really fast, in my opinion. I think that's its only good attribute, is that it's really fast. I think barely, I've looked at the list, I think there's barely any stands that fall into D tier, and I also think it also has a very basic design, so it doesn't really have that either, unfortunately. Excuse me. Next up we have Dark Moon Blue. I think this is what it's called. It's either Dark Blue Moon or Dark Moon Blue. I really like its design. Like I like the aquatic looking thing. It's just other than that, this is also like Tower of Grey, where it just doesn't really have much going for it because it doesn't really like give you the ability to do better underwater. Like, yeah, the stand itself is really fast underwater, but like you can't breathe. It doesn't give you to breathe underwater. I think if it gave you to breathe underwater, it'd be easy A. It's just the guy who had it, he was like a Marine or something, like a Coast Guard or whatever, and he like trained himself to breathe underwater for like over 6 minutes. What else can the stand do? I think it can shoot like water bullets. I think it did that, and it can also it can grow barnacles. I remember that. It's like barnacle acceleration. So like if I were gifted this stand, I'd want to live on like a beach or something. I don't know. Maybe like join the Coast Guard or whatever. I think this is a Tower of Grace situation where you just can't really do much with it. I think. Yeah, C tier. Next up we have Strength. C tier, not really much to talk about. It's just a really big, like, old boat. I mean, yes, it would be cool to have. You could basically go anywhere. It's a boat. You can't really do anything with it. I mean, could bump it up to B. Nah, I'm gonna keep it in C tier. It's funny though. It's just a boat. That's it. The stand is the boat. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it in C for now. We might come back to it. We might. Alright, next stand we have Yellow Temperance with the user, his name, very goofy name, Rubber Soul. This is like a golden colored, ever-consuming blob that gets stronger the more it consumes. And it is good because it does have good capabilities, because with like its transformation, like you can transform into things. It's just, the blob is just so mid, and it's actually, I don't know, I've never liked this thing, and I'm gonna put it in C, but I could see it being in B just for like, actually no, I'm gonna keep it in C because even when you do transform into other things, it's still like always eating something. So yeah. Next, we have the Hanged Man, or Centerfold, or J Guile as he's known as. This is a very unique stand. If I remember, it's like some sort of like light reflection manipulation where you jump from like reflections of light, like mirrors, and like basically you can just jump from light reflections like mirrors, any kind of mirror. And there was also, I think he was like attacking Polnareff and Kakyoin by like their eyes. And I also really like the design of it too. It's got like the zombie mummy thing. I'm gonna put this in A because it's pretty goated, in my opinion. And now, next up we have the Emperor. User is Whole Horse. I really like Whole Horse. I really like the Emperor. I think the Emperor is an easy S. It's an invisible gun, and you can control the bullets. And I think this is an unpopular opinion. I think the Emperor is better than Sex Pistols, personally. So yeah. And just Whole Horse is just the goat anyway. The Emperor is nice. So yeah. Next we have the Empress, which, if I remember correctly, this is just like a baby-like stand. A very ugly baby-like stand. That it's just hard to kill, isn't it? No. It plants itself onto you. It's a parasite. Yeah, it is a parasite. It's just like, what can you really do with this? I think this is another C tier. It's just too mid. Next we have Wheel of Fortune. Personally, I think Wheel of Fortune could be an A. It's a car, and from what we've seen, you don't gotta worry about gas. It can shrink in size, it can enlarge, it can shoot like gas bullets, and it can transform. I think Wheel of Fortune is goated. It's easy transport basically. Next we have Justice. Justice is the stand of Inyaba. And I really, really, really like the design of Justice. If we're going off design alone, I think design alone is an S tier. But its main ability is Puppeteer. But to puppet a person, you have to put a hole in them. And I don't think it's S tier, but I think it's A tier. I think it's a very high A tier. Yeah, I think it's A tier. Justice is cool. Next, we have the Lovers. Again, this is just like classic part 3. Like, there's a lot of like C tier stands, honestly, and I don't really remember much about the Lovers other than it can like shrink in size. Wait, oh, I do remember. The Lovers doesn't have a range. That is probably the only thing good about it, is that it has no range and that the user can just go do whatever they want. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it in C. Next up, the Sun. Hey guys, just wanted to give a heads up. This is editing during here. The Sun is in D tier because I realized how trash it was, and I just wanted to give the heads up. Alright, next up we have a very interesting one. Death 13. Death 13 is a very good design. I like the mask. I like the scythe it carries. I like the jester, like, creepy vibes it gives off, too. Death 13 is very goated, and basically what it does, it's basically the Jojo's equivalent of Freddy Krueger, as it hunts you down in your dreams, and I think that's a really cool thing, and I think this is one of the few enemies in the series that could have taken out the Stardust Crusaders if they didn't have plot armor. I think Death 13 might be an S tier. I do like Death 13. Yeah, we're gonna give Death 13 S tier. I like it. It's goated design, goated ability. Next up we have Judgment. This is the stand that is like the genie. It's like the genie stand. It's pretty cool. It grants some wishes, but I think all the wishes come at a cost, or depending on what the wish is, it comes at a cost. Judgment, I could see it being good. I could see, if it could grant any wish without any bad things, easy S. Love to have this stand. It's just like, I don't really remember. I'm gonna have to do some research on it, actually. Alright, I looked it up. Never mind, this stand sucks because everything that it like grants, it's like just clay, and that sucks. And for our last stand of the tarot users, we have this is the High Priestess, and this is a pretty cool stand actually. The High Priestess has the ability to like become one with minerals. As we see in the series, it becomes like part of the submarines that the STC get in, and at one point it also becomes the ocean floor, and I think that's really cool, and I think the stand actually has a lot of potential. But does it? Minerals are goated. I think this is a B tier, but I think it's high B. Yeah, I think everything in A tier I would rather have than the High Priestess personally. Eh, Yeah, yeah. I agree with that. So this is the new ranking. We're done with all the tarot users of Dio's henchmen. I'm liking this ranking. It's pretty accurate, I would say, to what I actually think. We have a lot of C tiers. I hope we don't run into any more. So next, in the next video, we're gonna finish. I think we're gonna finish part 3, and we're gonna do the Egyptian gods plus like uh Dio and like Cream and all that. And yeah, be on the lookout for the next video. and I'll see you all in the next one. Alright guys, welcome back to another video. We're on part 3 of ranking every Jojo stand, and today's video we're going to be finishing off part 3, Stardust Crusaders. Let's get into it. We got the rest of the Terra users, so let's get into it. First, we have Geb. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize in advance if I say any of these are wrong. So first up we have Geb. Geb is, I looked it up. I did some research on this one before the video. I think this is just water manipulation. I couldn't see anything online that said otherwise. I went to the JoJo's wiki and I went to Reddit, and I didn't see anything that just said it wasn't water manipulation. So if we're going off the base that this is water manipulation, it's going to be an S tier, in my opinion. I think water manipulation is extremely good. I think out of the base elements like fire, earth, water, air, I think water is the most useful element to like be able to manipulate, but it's just not the coolest in my opinion. But like think of like all the things you could do with this. Oh, hold up. Now that I'm actually thinking about what could you do with this stand? You could just move water, I guess. Hold up. I think Geb's not as good as I thought. I think this might be an A tier then. Another thing, this stand doesn't really have like a design. It's just water, and it appears as his hand sometimes. But the water itself is strong. It can like rip through metal, and even like obviously if it can rip through metal, it can rip through humans. It even did that to one of the Speedwagon Foundation members. I think it's a good place in A. I might come back to it if I think of anything. Next up we have Kanum. This is Oingo's stand. Kanum's ability is you can transform into people. Like for example, Oingo transforms into Jotaro in the series. See, I've thought about this before. I think the ability to disguise yourself as someone is really good. So I'm going to put it in A tier because it is still pretty. I think it's pretty good. It's just that both the Boingo brothers don't really specialize in the intelligence field. But I think if they had intelligence, they could have cooked something. Next up we have Thoth, I think, or Toth. Thoth. This is a stand that is a book that prophesizes the future with its like comic manga pages. Now, I do think Oingo's stand is better, so I'm gonna put it in B. But I can see the potential in this. The ability to see the future is good. Yeah, just by itself, it doesn't really have a downside other than you have to wait for like the pages to come in. But we really never see Boingo wait that long for the pages to come in. And I just like it. I also like the art style. I think it's like a goofy good. So next up we have Anubis. Anubis is a sword that takes over the user when like it's grabbed. And I talked about this with a friend because I thought it was kind of good. I thought it'd be B tier. But then he reminded me that it takes over the user. Therefore, I think it's pretty mid. But alright, if we're going off, I got this stand IRL. If I were to get this stand, it'd be D tier because it wouldn't be me. But a lot of things that I'm taking in with a lot of these stands, I'm taking in how I'm ranking them. They're being ranked on how I would use them and how they are in the series. So I think Anubis is a C tier because, well, okay, back to like how I would like to stand. Sure, your body is taken over, but you become a like master swordsman in like the real world. It's just that wouldn't really be that helpful. I think Anubis is gonna stay in C tier. I think this is another Geb where I might just have to come back to this because it is a pretty tricky one. I won't lie. Next up we have Bask. This is Mariah Stand. One of my favorite girls in Jojo actually. Bask. The stand itself is this outlet, and whoever touches it gets uh like they become like a magnet, and I think Mariah controls it, like she can control how stronger it gets, or it just automatically gets stronger as time progresses. I think this is a pretty mid stand, honestly. You would have to like do some like high level plotting. The only way I think I could get use out of this is to disguise it as a normal outlet and just hope somebody touches it. I think like if I don't do that, the only people that would be touching it would be like young kids. But yeah, I think this stand is completely trash. Or not completely trash, it's really not that bad. I don't think it's sun level. Hmm. Could it be sun level? But you see what Mariah does in this series? She makes well with Joseph, she makes Joseph touch it because it's just on a rock. Oh, that actually might be the way to go. Just put it on things where it normally wouldn't be and just have people touch it. Yeah, I like that. But I don't remember how Alvdal touches it, but I also know in Shining Diamond's Demonic Heartbreak, or Crazy Diamond's Demonic Heartbreak, she trips Whole Horse and he touches it. I think that's what I would do if I had the stand bass, just trip people until they touch it. Another thing, the user Mariah also carries metal on her to like use on her enemies, as seen in that one scene that you all know I'm referring to. And it's also good to know the general layout of the area. Mariah also uses that in like the Avdol Joseph fight. I think it's C tier. I don't think we're coming back to this one. Next up we have Sethan. Sethan is a shadow stand. It's a shadow with eyeballs, and whoever walks in the shadow is aged down. Wait, yeah, they're aged down for how long they're in it. I think it's 10 years for every like period, I think. Uh, so I looked it up. I didn't really find a set answer, except Polnareff was in the shadow for a split second and he de-aged 7 to 8 years. So that alone, personally, I do like the stand. Really don't like the user. I think the user is very weird and creepy. It would be S, but I'm gonna be honest. Not a big fan of the design. I think the design is very mid. It's a cool concept, a shadow just with eyes. It's just, I want a stand that looks cool. Look at all these other stands in S tier except the Emperor. Like, look at Star Platinum, Silver Chariot, The Fool, Death 13, they all look so cool. Sethan just ain't cool looking. But it is a pretty good stand. I do think it is A tier. Alright, next up we have everyone's favorite gambler, Darby. And his stand is Osiris, or Osiris. I don't know which one it is. This stand allows Darby. Basically, the stand, you have to have someone agree to either play a game or make a bet with you. And if you lose the bet, the stand makes you into this like soul coin poker chip with your face on it. And no matter what you do, no matter where you go, or even if you agree to it, if you lose the bet or the game, the stand makes you a chip, no matter where you're at. And I think and it also has a pretty banging design. I'm not gonna lie, I like how big it is. I do like it. It is pretty cool, in my opinion. I also just like the Darby arc in general. I think it was pretty good. I also like how Jojo was just bullshitting out his ass the whole arc, or especially in the gambling part. It was pretty funny. Oh, I think this is another A tier. I think we got another A. Getting a lot of A's this video. We have 4 A's this video, guys. Wow. Next up we have Horace. This is the stand of Pet Shop. I'm gonna go ahead and be honest. This is another one I've thought about. This is going to be A tier. I think Horace is a really cool. It's basic. It's kind of like Geb, but it's just ice manipulation. I think it is so fire. It looks so cool. Pet Shop is one of my favorite like enemies in Part 3. I would say my favorite enemies are alright, top 5 enemies. Whole Horse, Pet Shop, Mariah, Vanilla Ice, and Dio. I'll say that. Yeah, that's pretty nice. But yeah, Horus is goated. Atom. I think it's Atom. Yeah, it is Atom. This is the stand of, I don't remember his name, but it's Darby the Younger. He also has the ability to like bet your soul, so it's like soul betting. Except he really only uses video games. Also, like Osiris, you have to agree to play the game, and if you lose the game, your soul is turned into a marionette puppet. Design-wise, I do think this is the much cooler like version, like between the brothers. I'm thinking of putting this in S tier because I really do like its design a lot more. And it's basically the same. Alright, it just comes down to this, though. When I beat people in games, would I rather turn them into a coin or a doll? I think this is S tier. Maybe, yeah. I think this is S tier. Oh, another ability this has is it can read your soul with yes or no questions. Like, you would ask somebody like a yes or no question, and the soul always answers truthfully. So even if they said no, you would know they said yes. Like, for example, let's say somebody ate like your chocolate or whatever. Hey, did you eat my chocolate? And they said no. You would read their soul and see they say yes. I think it's an S tier stand. I like it. Next up we have Tenor Sax. Yeah, Tenor Sax. This is very mid. I'm gonna put this in C. It's like a minor illusion. It's like illusions. It's an illusion-based stand where it's like not even really good illusions. It can be bypassed by like smells. Like that's how like Iggy was able to find out they were in an illusion because he just smelled through it. So yeah, not really much you can do with that other than like no matter what you do or what illusion you put somebody in, I think they would eventually find out they were in an illusion. I think if it was more like permanent and like you could do stuff, I think it would be B. Hold up, I'm gonna look this up. Came back from the research, and you actually can like do things in the illusion, like feel water and like the walls that feel like the real thing. That's big. I think that saves that from C tier. We're gonna put that up in B tier. Like, even if you can't like trap anybody in the illusion, I also seen the illusions can be massive. Like, you can make like whole labyrinths. Even if you don't have like enemies, you could still like an illusion yourself at like the beach or whatever. And I think that's pretty neat. So we're gonna put that in B tier. Next we have a personal favorite stand of mine, Cream, and the user is Vanilla Ice. Cream's ability is that it becomes a sphere that like eats things as like a void hole, and I personally really like it. I really like Polnareff and Iggy versus Cream. That is probably my favorite fight, or one of my favorite fights in the series. Probably it's in my top 3 in part 3 alone anyway. I think it's really good, and I also really like the design of Cream. And yeah, just because of how much I like it, it's a personal favorite. I'm gonna put it in S tier, obviously. Look how cool it looks. It has an aura. And next up, we have the world. The world is the stand of Dio, and its ability is that it can stop time. Who knew? And not really much else it can do. It's basically Star Platinum with the ability to stop time. And I think because of that, it's an instant S tier. Like I said, it's Star Platinum with an added ability of stopping time. I also think it does look really cool. Even though I'm not usually a big fan of yellow, I think it's really cool looking. And yeah, uh, that is it for JoJo's Part 3 Stardust Crusaders. We ranked every stand from Star Platinum to the world. Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. We're back with ranking JoJo stands. We are now going to the small town of Morio to rank stands. So first, we're going to be ranking the Morio gang. I did some research about who would be considered the Morio gang. So I'm going to consider Josuke, Okuyasu, Koichi, Rohan, Yukaku, yeah, it's Yukaku, and Mikataka, because I didn't know where else to put him, and I think he fits here in the Morio gang. So first, we have Crazy Diamond, also known as Shining Diamond. Crazy Diamond's ability is that it can fix things by like touching it, not just by punching it, just touching it. It can also heal people, like it cures things as well. I think Crazy Diamond is an S tier. I really like Crazy Diamond. Personally, I like Crazy Diamond more than Star Platinum. I think the moment that sold me on Crazy Diamond, personally, is when it was Josuke versus Highway Go-Go, and he was like running, like he was driving the motorcycle, and a baby is coming up, and he breaks the motorcycle with Crazy Diamond, jumps over the baby, and like fixes the motorcycle and lands back on it. That was like so cool. And ever since I've seen that, Crazy Diamond has been like one of my personal favorite stands, and would probably be like one of the top 3 stands I would like IRL. It's just its biggest problem is that you can't heal yourself, obviously. Next up we have the Hand. The Hand is pretty good. I really like its design. It's another like punchy stand like Crazy Diamond, Star Platinum, etc. with the ability to remove anything it touches with its right hand, I'm pretty sure. And we don't know where the thing goes, so I'm just gonna assume it's like cream and just sends it to a void. I still think the hand is really good. I think the hand is really good, personally. And is it S? Should I give it S? I think it's S or A or S, S or A or S, S or A or S. I'll put it in S because I do like Okuyasu. I think he's I think he is the best Jobro. He's the GOAT, honestly. So next up we have Echoes Act 1. This Echoes, all three Echoes, active Echoes, have different abilities. Act 1's ability is that it puts a sound on something and it generates that sound. For example, he put like a ringing noise on Tamami, the light guy, and he started hearing the ringing in his head. That ability isn't that good, but if we're talking design alone, I think Echoes Act 1 is an S. I think Echoes Act 1, probably out of all the Echoes, it's probably my favorite design. I like the little bug guy. But its ability isn't that good. So I'm going to put it in B tier because it also could be used as like a recon stand because its like range is like 50 meters, which is a lot. And Koichi can also like either it's implied that he can see through Echoes Act 1, or Echoes Act 1 has an ability to relay what he's seeing. Next up we have Echoes Act 2. This is just a better version of Echoes Act 1, and it has the ability to like it's like a better ability of Act 1 where it can like write something on like an object and like that thing will happen. For example, when Yukako kidnapped them, he wrote like gust of wind on a door, and when Yukako touched it, like a gust of wind like blew her. And another example from that like arc is when Yukako was falling, Echoes Act 2 wrote boing on the like spike she would have fell on, and it boinged her up. I think it's a pretty cool ability. I think that ability is better than Act 1's ability. It's just, I don't really like the design of Act 2. It's my least favorite out of the Echoes, personally, but hey. Next up we have Echoes Act 3. Act 3 is the final form of Echoes, and its main ability is freeze or 3 freeze, and it just like slams things into the ground. We see him use that against Kira, and like his hand, and we also see him use it in part 5 against a car Giorno gets in. I don't really find that ability helpful personally, but I also am still like a fan of Act 3's like design a little bit. Yeah. I think Act 3 is a B personally. I think out of all the Echoes, Act 2 has the best ability because that's just a lot more helpful than, and it's also a lot more versatile than the other two.
Please, Daddy.
I told you, when I'm finished, you can have what's left.
There won't be any left. There's never any left.
I'm gonna go ahead and put it where everybody knows it's going, S tier. Heaven's Door is absolutely broken. Heaven's Door can like basically turn people into books and like read their life, and he also has the ability to like manipulate them. For example, like when Koichi was going to Italy to find Giorno, Rohan made it to where Koichi could speak like really good Italian or like perfect Italian because he opened up Koichi's face and like wrote it down. It's that good. S tier, like you could do so much with it. Next up we have Love Deluxe. This is the stand-up of Yukako, and this is just the ability of hair control. As someone who has long hair in real life, and as someone who has made like D&D characters who like use their hair as like their abilities. I personally like it. Uh, but is it better than like some of these stands in C tier? Like, would I rather have this in like Hermit Purple, Anubis? Uh, yeah, I'm gonna put it in C tier. I mean, it's not really much you can do with hair unless it's like large groups where like it's harder to like rip through it. But like, what if like I was going against like Magician's Red? Yeah, I think S tier. I think this genuinely might be the first stand I come back to because I'm pretty like I don't know. I kind of like it in B, but I also like it in C. Like it's a mixed match. I think this is a stand where if you ask me like on a different day what I think of it, I might put it in B, but for now I'm gonna put it in C tier. And last up we have Miki Mikitaka. Uh, it's unsure even if he has a stand, so we're just gonna rate his power. His ability is that he can transform into objects. I think this is a pretty decent ability. It's just like I'm gonna put it in B because it's just you manipulating into it, and there's not really that much you can do with it other than. But I do still think it has potential, and I can also see its like versatility, like that you could basically just play prop point in real life. You can, but another thing, a bad thing in my opinion, you also feel the thing. Like if you turn into an object, you can feel like people touching you. Like when he transformed into a dice and was shaking, he like thought it was funny, and no, it tickled him. No, it made him dizzy. I think it either tickled him or it made him dizzy, and he threw up. So you can still like pee and like throw up and like spit like in it. But I think it's a decent like stand. I wouldn't mind getting it. So that is it for the Morio gang. We got some pretty good stands coming up in part 4 when we look at Morio's residence. Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. We're back on, technically in the video series, this is part 5, but or you could call it part 4.2, part 4.2, either's fine. But anyway, we're still in Morio, and today we're going to be looking at some more residents in the form of allies of the Morio Warriors. So I went to the Jojo's wiki, and I did some research, and I basically read every character that is labeled as ally. So in this video, we're going to be ranking Tamami's stand, Hazamata, Tonio, Shizuka Joestar, who's the baby, Shingechi, Aya, Yuya Fungami, and Kanadachi, which is the alias for Superfly. So the first stand we're ranking is Tamami's stand. It's just called the Lock. And what the Lock does, it's guilt entrapment. That's the ability's name. And what it does, you guilt somebody into doing something, or if somebody feels guilty about doing something, you could put a lock on their heart, and as the guilt increases, the lock can get bigger. And it also has a secondary ability of lie detection. It can detect lies.
Deshaun, did you steal that Fago from the gas station?
Hell no!
You lying?
Okay, but only because I'm banned from Cash App.
I'll
We
phone
finna
him.
put you on house arrest.
Fuck that! I can't wear no ankle monitor on my mirrors.
You lying?
My True,
You lying?
my Levi's,
You lying?
my Panda by Levi's.
I'll phone him.
Man, get this bullshit on.
I thought this stand was going to be a C tier, because it is kind of mid, but I'm going to bump it up to B tier, because just like the guilt entrapment, I think it's better than what a lot of people think. Like, you could, like, even what Tamami does in the series, he like tricks Koichi into thinking he ran over a cat with his bicycle and he felt really bad. You could basically just gaslight people. And I also think that the lie detection ability is also really good. I think it has a good place in B tier. Next up we have the Surface, which is Hazamata's stand. Surface takes the form of like a naked mannequin doll. Like it's like a wooden mannequin, and whatever it touches, it can perfectly copy down to looks, mannerisms, sound, like perfectly. It's just the one problem is it has a nail on its forehead, and that's how you find like it's the clone over the real one. And I think this is a pretty good stand. I think you could do a lot with this. I think this is very similar to Kanum, Oingo stand. Is this better? I think so. I think this is A because it is pretty good. Like, you have the ability to copy anybody. Like, you could get away with a lot. Like, it can copy anybody. You could get into like special areas. Like, let's say you wanted to get into like a military place, you could use the surface and copy like a general and just get in. It's just a problem it does have is that I do think it is always wooden. I read on the wiki that there's a scene where Hazamato punches him and he like hurts his fist because he just punched wood. But I still think Surface is pretty good. I think Surface has potential. I think Surface, out of like everybody else in A tier, I think Surface is bottom A, but I definitely can see the potential. Comment what you think of Surface. Next up we have Pearl Jam, which is Tonio's stand. And this is all about cooking. I think Pearl Jam is an S tier because basically what it is, it's healing food. I'm about to use a lot of examples with Okuyasu. When Josuke and Okuyasu went into Tonio's restaurant, Okuyasu had like a lot of problems. He had like an injury and like a cavity. That's like the two things I know off the top of my head. It's just the problem with it is that you like go through like pain. Like for example with the tooth, like the tooth like fell out of his mouth and it regrew. Pearl Jam could be so useful in real life. You could help a lot of people and yourself with this stand. So I think it's S tier just for that ability alone. Also, Tonio's the GOAT. Next up we have Shizuka Joestar, also known as the Invisible Baby, with the stand, I think it's pronounced a tongue baby. So this is just invisibility. I think it's B tier. Nothing crazy. It's really just invisibility from what I read on the wiki. I mean, yeah, not really much else to say. We're gonna move on to the next one. So next up we have Harvest, which is Shingechi. Harvest is a very unique stand as it is like a bunch of like ants, and if you harm just one Harvest, Shingechi is completely fine. And how Shingechi uses it, he uses it to get like things from like around Morio, such as like coins, and he like taps into like that hidden market. Even like Josuke pointed that out. Harvest can also be used in a multitude of ways, such as travel. And I also think that Harvest can speak, because I think when Shingechi was blown up by Kira, there was like that last Harvest, he was like, no, I'm wrong. Harvest can't speak. I'm misremembering. I still think Harvest is a pretty good stand. I would probably just use it to move around. But do we give Harvest A? No, not S. Ooh. A or B? Is Harvest A or B? I think Harvest is B tier. Yeah, we're gonna put Harvest in B tier. I think, yeah. Unless I'm misremembering something big about Harvest. I do like Shingechi though, don't get me wrong, Shingechi is the GOAT. Harvest is alright, I wouldn't mind having it in real life. Next up we have Cinderella. Cinderella's design is pretty cool. I like how it doesn't have legs. I think that's like a pretty unique design. Cinderella's ability is basically just body like modification / manipulation. She mainly just helps Yukako in like her face, like gives her like a prettier face. And she also gives Kira like a completely new body, which did lead to her death already. But you have to like know like about that stuff a lot. Now, if I had Cinderella, I would definitely use it because I'm pretty ugly. But I don't really know anything about that, so for now I'm going to put it in C. Like how would I like what I would use with Cinderella? What I would do, I would just use it once to give myself like a new like face and whatever. And that'd probably be it. I don't think I would be good enough to like be able to like open up a business with it. So yeah. Next stand we have Highway Star, also known as Highway Go-Go. And the user is Yuya Fungami. Now personally, I like Highway Star and Yuya. Pretty much. Yuya is one of my favorite like minor villains in JoJo's, and along with Kareem, Highway Star is a personal favorite. I'm going to put it in S tier. Highway Star has a few abilities. Its first ability is that it can create an illusionary room to lure people in it. I mean, it's goofy, but I would like it. I mean, it's pretty cool. That ability alone is kind of like Tenor Sax. It can also split apart its body, as we can see, like in its little icon picture. Its like head is like opening. It gives you enhanced smell, and I think that's pretty good. Enhanced smell could probably go a long way. I think if enhanced smell would be like a C tier power, but I think that's like what Highway Star is. It's like a bunch of like low tier powers into one, and I think it's pretty good. And it also, and this is arguably its best ability, nutrients absorption. It can like touch people and absorb their nutrients, which is basically just like a siphon for Yuya. Because he got this stand while in the hospital, and he was sucking Rohan's nutrients while he needed it. And I think that's pretty good. And plus, just like, I don't know what you'd call the arc, like just the Highway Star arc, where like Josuke has to like find Yuya. Like, that's probably like one of my favorite arcs in JoJo's. I just like it.
If my nose is correct, one of you beauties is on your period. I'm right, aren't I? Who is it? It's me. That full-bodied odor you're whiffing is courtesy of yours truly, you dick! That's bullshit!
So yeah, S tier. Next up, we have Superfly. I am going to be honest, I think Superfly is one of the worst stands in the series. With its only good ability is that you could just permanently trap somebody in it. I think that is the only thing Superfly has going for it. Like, if going off the basis of Superfly, because Superfly's ability is that it's a tower, and basically once you enter, you can't leave it until someone else walks in. If you could like outsmart people, you could get like some like big JoJo characters like in this like trap Dio. Like, what if Dio was trapped in Superfly? That'd be crazy. And you can't damage Superfly either because it repels the damage. But it's just you can't really do anything with Superfly unless like you just want to like just trap somebody in there for like ever. So I think Superfly is one of the worst stands in the series. I think it's worse than the Sun, personally. Or no, I think they're about the same because they have almost no versatility really. So yeah, I think that is it for this video. Be on the lookout for the next part where we're going to be taking a look at Morio's villains. Welcome back everyone to JoJo Stand Rankings. This is part 6? Yeah, this is part 6. We're going to be finishing part 4 by ranking the antagonist of Morio. We're going to be diving into Morio's evil residence. I mean, you can say a handful of Moria's residents are rather evil. Resident Evil. Anyway, first up we have Aqua Necklace. This is the stand of Angelo.
Yo, Angelo.
Aqua Necklace is water manipulation. It is it's got a very good range. It's long range. It's water manipulation, like I said, with like Geb stand, like the stand Geb. Water manipulation is good, and with its range, it's also pretty good. And it also has the ability to, if it can get inside of a body, it's got complete control of the body. And I think that's pretty good. I think this is an A tier. I think Aqua Necklace is just pretty fire. I think its design is pretty cool. And it's also pretty strong, and it can also transport itself between any liquid too. I say with all of its abilities plus its range, I think it's really good. So next stand we have Bad Company. I think Bad Company is very good. Bad Company is the stand of Keicho Nijimura, Okuyasu's older brother. And Bad Company takes the form of a bunch of it's like a little army dudes. Kind of like toys. Kind of like big, slightly bigger army toys. And it can take the form of foot soldiers and like vehicles like helicopters and stuff. According to the Jojo's wikis, it uses M16 assault rifles, and its bullets is enough to tear the skin and leave like a decent wound. And they also have landmines that can like wound a leg pretty severely. I think Bad Company is pretty good. I think it's also A tier, honestly. It could be a little versatile. I mean, it's a good guard stand, I mean, if not anything. Like, if you want to guard something, just put these dudes on duty. Oh, Bad Company or Harvest? I think Bad Company versus Harvest. Personally, I'm gonna pick Bad Company. So yeah, A tier. Next up we have Red Hot Chili Pepper. This is the stand of Akira Atoshi, and what this is, it's a lightning bird, and it can shoot. It can like control lightning, or no, electricity. My apologies. It's electricity. So yeah, it can just do anything with electricity, and it can also jump from like electricity, like basically from like a power line to another one. Like it jumped from a power line to an outlet in the Nijimura house, and that's how he kills Keicho, because he jumped in it. I think Red Hot Chili Peppers also A tier. I think this is another A tier, honestly. Its range is also really, really, really good. And I think, yeah, I think it's A tier. Wow, videos started and we have 3 back-to-back A tiers. That's pretty cool. Next up, we have the stand Rat. I think this stand is C tier. This is the stand of the rat. It's used by 2 rats, and its name is like Eaten and Not Eaten, I think. Basically, what this stand can do, it shoots out darts that are like covered in like this strong poison that melt things pretty fast. And personally, I think that is just pretty mid. Almost no versatility at all. I don't think in the series it was ever shown like this thing melting like objects, just like flesh. Even if it could melt objects, I don't think it would leave C tier. But yeah, I mean, for a couple rats, they were doing pretty good too, so they got a nice spot in C tier. Next up we have Heartfather. I think Heartfather is pretty mid. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in D. Heartfather is the stand of Kira's dad. What he does is, he's a ghost who lives in a picture, and he can interact with anything in the picture, and he can also like fly around like while in the picture. But in the real world, he's invisible. The only way to see him is through the picture. And I just can't see this thing being good, like, at all. Other than, like, lore, like, in universe purposes, like, all he did was just go around Morio and just shoot people or stab people with the arrow. I think Heartfather is pretty mid. I think it's Tower, or I think it's Superfly in some level. So yeah. Next up we have Boy to Man. Boy to Man is interesting. Boy to Man is a stand where you play rock, paper, scissors 5 times. First to 3 wins. And what happens is every time you lose something. Like, I think in the first round, Rohan lost, like, basically you lose something, and if you lose all 3 rounds, you lose your stand. But every time you lose, the user of Void of Man gets that power through a hole in his cheek, and I think that is pretty interesting. But you have to go like for the inconvenience of like asking people to play rock paper scissors. Like, for example, you can go against somebody like Rohan, who would just keep saying like no, 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 go away, until he gets annoyed. And not only you have to do it once, you have to do it like 5 times at the very most, 3 times at the very least, hoping you win every game. I think for its power conversion, like the power manipulation it gets, I think it's a B tier. Yeah, I think it is B. I think it is B. Because I think it's better than some stands in C tier. And I also kind of like the design of Boy to Man. So yeah, let's get to the next stand. Next stand, this is Stray Cat. Stray Cat is also another very, very interesting stand, because the user is a cat named Tama. And one of Stray Cat's ability is that you're reincarnated as a plant. Now, if we're going off the logic of that, you have the stand and you die and get reincarnated, do you come back as a plant human or a plant cat? Because I think if we're coming back as a plant human, I think this is an S tier. Because even when you come back as a plant, you can still move around like a human and like do stuff, because that's like a part of its kit, is that like Stray Cat is a plant, but it can like move around and do cat-like things. But if we're coming back as a cat plant, I'm gonna move it down to B. But another ability of Stray Cat is air manipulation. And yeah, I think this is like another water manipulation situation, where air manipulation is like I think it's the second best element to be able to control. Yeah, I do agree with that. So we're gonna go off the basis that Stray Cat leaves you. We're gonna say you come back as a cat plant, and we're gonna leave it in B tier. But if a human would get it and were to die and come back as a plant human, I would put it in S tier. Probably like compared to everything else, probably on the lesser side of S tier, but still S tier. Next up we have Enigma. I don't remember the guy's name, but this is one of like the final villains of part 4 before like the big Kira fight. And what this does, you're able to trap things in paper, and you fold the paper to keep them there, and to release it, you unfold it. I think that is a very unique ability, and I also really like the design of Enigma. I think it is also pretty fire looking. Is this another A tier? I think it is. I think this is another A tier. Yeah, we're gonna put it in A. It's very versatile. Like, you could do so much with it. It's just you have to like watch yourself, and like if you put it in your pocket, like you're kind of screwed if you accidentally unfold the paper there. But I think it's pretty good. Next up, we have the stand Cheap Trick. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in D tier. Cheap Trick is a stand that latches on to people's back. And if someone ever looks at the user's back, the user dies and Cheap Trick goes on to the person who's seen the back. I think it's trash. You get no benefit from Cheap Trick. It's actually also programmed to be very annoying. Like, it's constantly talking, making noise, and bothering you. Like, it wants you to get rid of it, but it's going to kill you if you do. So I think out of every stand we've ever ranked so far, I think this is the worst one. Next we have Killer Queen. Killer Queen is S tier. Just design alone, Killer Queen is S tier. I like the cat design. I think it's pretty fire. And Killer Queen's ability, I think we all know what it is. It blows things up, and that's pretty cool. And just the way Kira uses it, it's pretty cool. It's just Killer Queen is like a goated like villain stand. It's like pretty good. It also deletes all the evidence. I kind of think that's like the whole point of like Killer Queen. Yeah. Killer Queen is goated. I think it might be out of all like the big villain stands, like the world, Killer Queen, King Crimson, Sea Moon. What are some other ones? Oh, D4C and Wonder of You. I think Killer Queen's like probably my second favorite. I think if we're going off design, Killer Queen is the second. But ability wise, it would probably be my favorite. But yeah, I like Killer Queen. Like the video if you would pet Killer Queen. Next up we have Sheer Heart Attack. Sheer Heart Attack is a sub ability it's a substand of Kira. And what it does, it is a remote bomb that rides around on wheels. And Kira basically sets it on somebody, and its like whole thing is that it's never supposed to stop, and it's completely indestructible. It's just, this stand is only going to be good if you're a murderer. And personally, I've just never really seen the hype around Sheer Heart Attack. I'm gonna put it in C, but it's just like Killer Queen is just so much better than Sheer Heart Attack. The only thing that is good about Sheer Heart Attack is its range and like its ability, like its invulnerability, like the ability to never like be destroyed. It's like always supposed to get the job done. I just don't really see the hype behind it. Alright, for our next stand, we have Killer Queen Bites the Dust. Now, a lot of you might be shocked what I'm about to say, but Killer Queen Bites the Dust is fucking ass.
キラークイーン第3の爆弾バイツァーダストやったぞ発動したぞ
Alright, everyone, welcome back to the hell? What? This is part 6. Hold on, what? I ranked these. Yeah, Aqua Necklace was A. Bad Company A. Red Hot Chili Pepper A. Rat was C. Heartfather's Butt D. Boy to Man was B. Enigma was A. Stray Cat was B. Cheap Trick was D. Killer Queen was S. Sheer Heart Attack was C. And then I ranked. Oh god damn it. Kira. Alright, dude. So you want my honest opinion about Bites to Dust. Bites the Dust is honestly pretty good. Bites the Dust, his ability is that he puts a little miniature killer queen on like a non-stand user. His name is Hayato, or I think it can be put on anybody. And how Kira uses it, it makes it to where if anyone finds out Kira's identity, it bites the dust and resets the hour. I think that ability alone is pretty mid, like C tier. But if we're going off the fact that you can put it on anything and like change what it is, I think it's like pretty good. Maybe like A. I am thinking A because bites the. Let's be honest, guys. Bites the dust has aura. So yeah. Are you happy with that, Kira? All right, good. So yeah. That is it for Morio. And yep, I ranked all Part 4 stands from Crazy Diamond to Bites the Dust. So yeah, if you want to keep following this JoJo stand rankings, because in the next videos we're going to be covering Part 5, be sure to subscribe and hit that post bell notification for the next upload, and I will see you guys later. Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. This is episode 7 of ranking JoJo stands, and today we're going to Italy, and we're going to be ranking Part 5 stands. So if you want to like look at all the stands in their current placements, here you go. Got a full image of all of them. So yeah, let's start now. First stand, we have Golden Experience. This is the stand of the JoJo of Part 5, Giorno Giovanni. Golden Experience's main ability is that it can endow life with its fist. It's like a life giver. Like for example, he can turn a non-living object into a living object, which I think is a pretty neato ability. And with its pretty neat ability, its design is also pretty good. Its design is good, but I think the design of Star Platinum and Crazy Diamond are better. I think this is S tier. I think a lot of people would understand that. I do think Golden Experience is S. It's just got a lot you can do with it, like just the ability to turn things into living creatures, and it's also it's like animals and plants. You can do a lot with it, really. Next up, we have Sticky Fingers. This is the stand of the goat Bucerati, and what it does, it can zip and unzip things. Like for example, it can touch somebody's arm and unzip it off their body. And another example, touch a wall, unzip the wall. You have like a little extra door. And plus, Sticky Fingers is goated. I think this is another S tier. It's also got like a really good design, in my opinion. And you could really just do a lot. There's like a lot of things you could surprisingly do with the ability to like zip and unzip things. And also the sound effects on the guy. It's crazy. Next up we have Moody Blues. Another stand with some good sounds. Moody Blues' ability is that it can play back time like exactly, kinda. You can like copy, it's like replaying somebody's past. Like for example, kind of like a plot point in Part 5 is that they were gonna use Moody Blues to find out what Diavolo looks like by going to the place where Diavolo met Trish's mom at. Now, I will admit, Moody Blue's design is S tier. It's just with that ability alone, I think is kind of mid, and you could get almost no use out of like in the real world. I think this is a B tier. I think its design alone stops it from being C tier, and also just RIP the goat to Bakio. He really was a goat. Next up we have Sex Pistols, and if anybody remembers from part 3 when I talked about the Emperor, you would remember that I said I think the Emperor is better than Sex Pistols, and I do still stand by that because Sex Pistols is, I think Sex Pistols is kind of annoying, as in, like if you don't feed them or anything, they're disobedient. And like they just won't listen, and they also like talk and like hit each other, they tease each other, they bully each other, they like cry too. I don't hate Sex Pistols, like I don't think it's a D or C, but I also don't like Sex Pistols. I think they can do stuff, yeah, and they can also like fly around as well, do a little recon. I think this is B tier. Next up we have Aerosmith. This is the stand of Narantia. Aerosmith has a few abilities. Its main ability is that it's an airplane that can shoot missiles and bullets, and it has another ability that can detect, what is it? I don't remember. It's not oxygen. Carbon dioxide? I think that's it, maybe? It can like detect like breathing things. And I think this is like a Moody Blue situation where it's just not really that good. Like this would only be good in the real world if you were like an assassin who like needed to get like swift kills or whatever. I think is this C? Is Aerosmith C? Or yeah, I'm gonna put it in C. Let me know what you guys think of Aerosmith in the comments. Does it deserve C or does it deserve B or maybe even higher? Maybe somebody can like sell me on Aerosmith or something. Next up we have Purple Haze. This is the stand of Fugo. Purple Haze is like a lot of stands, it's like a punchy stand, but in its knuckles have like these glass capsules, and once broken it releases an uncontrollable deadly disease that kills anything around it, allies and enemies alike. I also don't remember if it is just Fugo, but I think Purple Haze is like, if anybody were to get it, it would be like your like anger. And personally, I never really thought Purple Haze was that good. So I'm gonna put it in, is it C or, nah, Purple Haze does have a little bit of aura. I do think it looks cool. And I do like the scene where like Purple Haze is like tweaking. But Purple Haze just isn't that good. Like, couldn't you like accidentally just kill yourself with Purple Haze if it like gets too angry? I just don't think it's that good. I think if you could control the disease, I think Purple Haze would be an S tier, but you can't control it, unfortunately. Next up we have Spice Girl. This is the stand of Trish. Spice Girl is a very cool looking stand, I will admit, and its ability is that it softens things it punches or touches. I don't remember, but basically, when Spice Girl punches something, it gets soft like rubber. It's not really that useful, but I could see the potential in it, I think. I'm gonna put it in B. I think it has a good place in B. Last stand we have Mr. President, which is the stand of the turtle Coco Jumbo, I think, or Jumbo Coco, I don't know. It's a key that when put into this turtle, it's a ghost room, like Emporios, that has like drinks and stuff. It has like a sofa, table. Now with this stand, you gotta think of it like this. Do you have is the turtle and the key to stand? Or is it the key and you have to find the turtle to use it? Another thing about Mr. President, stands can also affect you inside. Stands such as Green Day and the stand that makes people get older. Don't remember what that one's called, but they're both, yeah, they're both gonna be in the next video. Or the one where you get older is, I know that for a fact. I think this is C. Yeah, I think Mr. President is C. Well, that wraps it up for the main group, like the Joe group. The MCs of part 5. And in the next video, we're gonna be ranking stands of La Squadra. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another Jojo stand rankings. This is episode 9, and today we're gonna be ranking these stands of. Alright, so our first stand we have is Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath is a pretty interesting stand, just in general. I really like the design of Black Sabbath. But yeah, it's got a few abilities. Its main ability being shadow, like movement. Like, it can move, like it can go into anything's shadow. Also, this is a stand, it is an automated stand, and its range is like insane. It has really good range. And this stand also doesn't have, like, when this stand gets beat up in part 5 by Giorno, Pulpo doesn't even know his stand has been defeated. This stand also has a compartment where he can use his stand arrow, but I think with all of this, I think this stand is S tier. I really like Black Sabbath, and I think it's personally very cool. Alright, next up we have Soft Machine. This is the ability to deflate anything it punctures with the stand's like little rapier. I don't think the stand is that useful or useful at all. Like, I really can't think of anything on how this would be used. So I'm going to give this a C tier. Next up we have Craftwork. This is kinetic energy. Or it's involving kinetic energy. I know, I'm not going to say manipulation. It's like kinetic energy control. To where, for example, when Mista was fighting the stand would stop Mista's bullets and like convert like the kinetic energy in it to like move back to Mista, I'm pretty sure. Craftwork can also stop things like mid-movement, like as it's coming to him, like a rock. Like Mista threw like a rock at him or something, and he like stops it in thin air. I'll give this B. It's not that bad. I like its little spikes on its head. Next up we have Little Feet. I think this is what the stand is called. This is just the ability to shrink things. And I think it's shrinking over time. Like, it's not like instant shrinking. Like, you're slowly getting smaller. Like old Narantia. I think this is another B tier. Like, you could use like that for a lot of stuff. Like, maybe you're like carrying something heavy and you could just shrink it down. Next up we have Man in the Mirror. Man in the Mirror allows you to go into a mirrored world. I don't remember if you can do like anything in the mirror world. other than it just being a place to like go like hide and chill out. So I'm going to give this a C. Next up we have Beach Boy. This is the stand of Pessy. Beach Boy is like a hyper like sensitive fishing rod that can go through walls and such. And basically what it attaches to, like that thing can't get it off like without Pessy like controlling it. Like for example, if it lands on somebody, that person just can't rip it off. Pessy also has like hyper senses with it, like heightened senses. Like he can sense, like if he reels it into a room, he can like examine the room basically. I think for it being a fishing rod, it's pretty good. It's just like you're not really gonna use its abilities a lot, so I'm gonna give this C tier. Next stand, Grateful Dead. Grateful Dead is interesting. As design-wise, really good, but its ability is that it increases the age of people around it, and but as the user of the stand, you can control if it ages you or not, because I don't remember what a lot of La Squadra's like names are, but the guy, he like tricks Mista into being like a effective old man. I'm gonna give this B tier because I like it. It's pretty cool. Look at its eyes. Next up we have Babyface. Babyface is the stand of Malone. Basically, what it is, Malone has a little laptop that he carries around, and he can get a sample of people's DNA, and with this DNA, he creates the stand that, as time continues, it grows. So it starts out as a baby and slowly goes into an adult. I think the stand is 18. So with the stand, you make the baby, it gets older, goes into a teenager to an adult, and as it gets older, it gets abilities. And the stand's ability was, I think it was like matter control, like it can turn things into like little squares, like Minecraft. I love Minecraft. But yeah, it's also a very long range stand, and I think it has a lot of potential. I think you would just have to survive like its teenager phase, where I think it was like rebellious or something. Next up we have White Album. White Album is a stand that is a suit that decreases the temperature of things. At first I thought it was ice manipulation, but it's not. White Album is a pretty cool suit. I do like it. The only downside for the suit is that in the back of the neck there's a hole. But like, if I got this suit, who would stop me? Yeah, I'd be on a villain arc with this suit. I think this is A. Yeah, I like White Album. It's pretty cool. I think probably... Oh, nah. You know what? That's a perfect segue into what I was about to say. I was about to say it's my favorite stand in La Squadra, but my actual favorite stand is Metallica. This is the stand of Risotto, like Nero. Don't know how to say these names. But this is iron manipulation, and what it does, how he uses it, is he manipulates iron in the body, and I think that was so cool. He should have won. Dobio only won because of the plot. Like, the moment I seen like this man could like put scissors in your blood, yeah, he should have won. Easy S tier. So yeah, that is it for La Squadra and Pulpo, I guess. In the next video, we're gonna be covering the final villains of Part 5 and like the big three: Silver Chariot Requiem, Golden Experience Requiem, and King Crimson. So yeah, be on the lookout for that one. Peace. Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. This is episode 10 of ranking Jojo stands. We are on the final episode of part 5. We're going to be talking about the stands of Diavolo's top men. So let's get into it. First stand, we have Clash. Clash is a stand that looks like a shark and can swim in any liquid. That it could be useful in a few ways. Like it could be like a little life. It could be like a floaty. Like you could like go to the ocean, like grab onto it, and it just swim around. It also has pretty good speed if I remember, but I just don't think it is that useful. We're gonna give it C tier. Next up we have Talking Head. Talking Head is also a C tier stand in my opinion. All it does is it latches onto someone's tongue and it basically makes them unable to completely tell the truth. Like even if you like try to trick the stand into lying, it's gonna lie about that lie. Like it's always gonna lie. I think the most you could get out of this is it's like tongue manipulation, and it could act as like an extra limb or something, but honestly it's pretty mad. Next up we have the Notorious Big, or the Notorious BIG. This is a stand that only activates when you die, and I think because of that, D tier. The Notorious Big is a stand that it's like always set to complete its objective. Like it's like if you send it to do something, it's going to do it, just at the cost of your life. I think it's like one of the worst stand abilities because you don't get to use it. You die in order to use it, and I think that's just, I don't know, it's mid. You know what, Notorious Big fans, comment down below if this is your go. Put me on to Notorious BIG. Next up we have Green Day. Green Day, in my opinion, is the better version of Purple Haze. Purple Haze releases a virus. Purple Haze releases a virus. Green Day releases mold spores. And with the spores, you could put them in your body to like stretch yourself, like dismember yourself and like connect. And I think Green Day is just the better stand. I'm gonna put it in B. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in B. I think Purple Haze versus Green Day, I think the only thing Purple Haze has over Green Day is that Purple Haze looks a lot cooler than Green Day. I think Green Day's design is kind of lacking. Next up we have Oasis. This is a stand that's another suit stand like White Album. And the user wears it to swim through the ground. Now I'm a One Piece fan, so I have seen this power in One Piece before. The Go Senior Pink. Would swimming through objects be that good? Like, is it B tier or is it C? Like, what is like some like use you would get out of like swimming through things? Actually, wait, no, it is C. It is C, because I remember you have to train yourself to like breathe like underwater. It's like swimming underwater. You've got to like learn how to hold your breath for that long. And you don't just become a master at it. Yeah, I think it's C. I think if it came with like swimming proficiency and like you didn't have to breathe, I think it would be B or maybe even A tier. Next up we have Rolling Stones. Rolling Stones is another D tier. Rolling Stones is a stand that hones to a person and like I think somehow it shows you how you're going to die. or like it like warns you of your fate. I just think it's trash. I don't really understand Rolling Stones that well, I guess. I also didn't even really like the Rolling Stones arc in JoJo's. I would honestly probably consider it my least favorite arc in all of JoJo's. Next up, we have Silver Chariot Requiem. Silver Chariot Requiem has a few abilities. Its first ability is like soul swapping, as it like can swap the souls like of things around it. For example, our main cast souls, or like their bodies all got switched. Like Trish was in Mista, Mista was in Trish, Giorno was in Narantia, Narantia was in Giorno, Busarati was in Diavolo, Diavolo was in Busarati. It also has body morphing manipulation, to where like it can like change things like around it. Like it was changing like people into birds. It's a pretty cool ability. It's just, oh yeah, Silver Chariot also has a big weakness with shadows. Like if like looking at its shadow is its weakness. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong about that. I'll put in like an edit if I am wrong. But you know, you'd think like all this is good. Oh, S tier. But Silver Chariot Requiem has a little problem. You can't really control it, or Polnareff wasn't able to control it at all. So, if this is Silver Chariot Requiem that you can't control, C tier. But if it's controllable, A tier. So it's both like an A and C tier. Controllable A, uncontrollable C. But for now, we're going to leave it in A, because Silver Chariot Requiem has aura. Next stand, King Crimson. King Crimson is a very, it's very a main villain stand. It's got the time-related ability, Time Erasure. Erases 10 seconds of the future, I think. Pretty good, pretty good. And it also has a second ability, that little thing on its head. You can see 10 seconds in the future. I think King Crimson is pretty good. King Crimson's design is fire. Let's be for real. I would say JoJo main villain stands. King Crimson is up there with Killer Queen and D4C. Design wise. But personally, out of like all the abilities, like, is King Crimson better than the world? I don't know. That's like a whole separate like topic. But like personally, I talked about this in the Morio, in the evil side of Morio. Ability wise, Killer Queen, like D4C, like all that. That's my top. But design wise, King Crimson's up there. And I do think on ability wise, King Crimson is like on the much better side. So yeah. Next up, we have Golden Experience Requiem. GER. I mean, I'm not gonna be honest. Like, let's cut the crap. S tier. The stand is amazing. It's got the abilities of Golden Experience, plus the ability to just nullify anything that happens to it. And that's how Giorno was able to beat King Crimson. He was able to just nullify his time erasures, and eventually trapped Diavolo in a time loop. So, yeah, we did it. Part 5 is done, boys. Everyone from Golden Experience to Golden Experience Requiem. So, yeah, part 5. Yeah, this was an interesting part. I will admit, I'm not the biggest fan of part 5. So, some of these videos may not have been the best quality. And I do apologize for that. I deeply apologize. Last two videos of La Squadra and like the main group, I will admit, they have been stinkers. Not my best work. But I will promise with part 6, I will start doing better again. That's a promise to the fans at home. So yeah. I think that's it, and I'll see you all at Green Dolphin State Prison. Alright, video's done. You know, man, oh, man, I'm glad part 5 is done. Now I can move on to part 6. Let's take a look at the stands. Marilyn Manson, that's a good one. I like that one. Diver Down, yeah, I like Diver Down. Oh, Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters is goated. Oh, yeah, Ghost Rooms, Kiss, Stone Free, Diavolo, yeah. Diavolo. What the hell? Diavolo. Well, I mean, in my opinion, Diavolo was always like a bad villain. I'm not a big fan of Diavolo. You see, that's another thing. Diavolo, like, what's your name, bro? You know what? I'm tired of you. Death tier. Alright, my tier list of shonen anime is done. Who was this made by? Oh, I can't see. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of this list. You know, there's a lot I haven't seen. Don't really just have much time to like watch or read like these series anymore. Like a lot of these I read in high school, like Dragon Ball, One Piece I read in high school, Bleach I read in high school, all of Naruto. So yeah, I think this is a pretty W list. I think bro, Diavolo, bro, get out of here, dog. You know, you're a show I would hit with a car. Alright, almost done with Fortnite Smasher Pass. You know, this is getting me going. Oh, Meowsicles. Oh, big chest. God dang. The wolf. Peely. The unicorn. It's okay, giddy up. It's okay, daddy's here. You indesistible hunk. I think I'll rank one more, then I'm gonna go be my mate to you guys. Yeah, who's next? Man, Skins, I want to stab. I hate you. Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. We are entering the Green Dolphin State Prison to start ranking stands. We're gonna get straight into it. I don't know what part this is, but if I had to guess, let's see. I think this is part 10. I'm pretty sure it's part 10. Anyway, let's get into it. First up, Stone Free, the stand of the second best Jojo, Jolene Cujo. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I've been thinking about this. You're gonna probably hear me say I like the design of all these stands because I think Iraqi absolutely cooked with the main group in part 6. And yeah, Stone Free is just cool, and I really like its sunglasses. I think its sunglasses is like a fire touch. But anyway, let's get down to the actual power. Stone Free's ability is that it's string decomposition, where Jolene can make her body into string, which actually has a lot of uses. And the string can actually go pretty far, and the string is also invisible to all non-stand users. Good example, the string she can try to like make this string go out of the prison, and she like choked her lawyer because he was like a dirty lawyer. I think the tradition of the JoJo stand being an S is going to stay, because I really just think there's a lot you could do with Stone Free, but I do think like out of Star Platinum, Crazy Diamond, Golden Wind, and Stone Free, I think Stone Free would be the weakest, but I think it deserves to be in S tier, like with some of the greats. And I also just think Jolene is an amazing character. Hashtag second best JoJo, just right behind the GOAT Josuke. Next up we have Kiss. This is something. Oh yeah, Kiss. Sorry. Kiss is the stand of Hermes. The Jobro Part 6. Kiss is an interesting design. I think out of like all the Part 6 main stands, like Stone Free, Foo Fighters, Weather Report, and Diver Down, I think this is the worst one, or the most lacking design-wise. But I do know Kiss does have its fans, and I can kind of see why. I like the crown-looking thing it has going on its head. But Kiss's ability is, it puts a sticker on something and it copies that thing. It makes a duplicate. It's sticker duplicating. It makes duplicating stickers. That's the better way to like put it, I guess. It's just how useful. Oh, actually, this would be useful. Hold up. Is this? I don't think it's S. But I do think we're gonna put it next, because just the ability to duplicate anything, that's actually really good. You would save so much money. Hold up. Change my mind. This is S tier. Yeah. I think Kiss is S tier. I mean, you could just like, you could duplicate food. You could duplicate stuff to resell. You could duplicate like a game to resell. You could duplicate just so much, like technology, like a laptop. You could just like, what if you just duplicate money? That is another thing. I think Kiss could be like a pretty good money generator, even though when we get to part 8 we're going to be ranking a stand that generates money. That will be interesting. We have burning down the house, or burning the house down. I don't know which one it is off the top of my head, but this is the stand of Emporio, which allows him to enter a ghost room where, it's actually surprisingly a nice little room too. It's got a piano, it's got like some stuff, it's got a laptop, it's got some stuff on like some shelves, it's got like, I think it's got food and drink. It's just, when would you ever need to evacuate into like this room? I don't think it's D tier by any means, because you can get the items from in the ghost room and bring them into the real world. It's just, I think the only item you would ever really need is like the laptop or something, unless you can like take something, unless you can design the room, which I don't know if you could. I might have to look into that, but as of right now, I do think burning down the house is C tier. I don't know, I don't really see it being that good. And I think if I wanted to stand to where I can enter things, I think I would much prefer D4C. Next up we have the GOAT, Foo Fighters. Some people watching this video are probably thinking, I'm probably a little biased for this part because I love Part 6 and I specifically love Foo Fighters. Not even gonna hold it. I think Foo Fighters is S tier. I think Foo Fighters is one of the best design stands. I love its alien look. But yeah, let's get down to it. Foo Fighters is the stand of FF, who is another one of my favorite characters, up there with Jolene and Josuke. But Foo Fighters is a very interesting stand, as up until this point we haven't really seen anything like it. Foo Fighters is a colony of plankton, and I don't know why, I just fuck with that so hard. Like, you can do so much with it, kind of like what FF does. She uses them as bullets. She does it. She heals. She's a healer. She's basically all in one. She's a support and like a damager. Foo Fighters is just the GOAT. Hashtag gone too soon. May she live up. Foo Fighters is S tier. Next up, we have a Weather Report. Weather Report is a very, 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 very interesting stand, as this is Weather Report is the stand of Weather Report. Love that. So what the stand does, it's kind of weather manipulation, as the stand itself is like clouds and stuff, but you can just like, one thing I like, it's kind of got like that Logia effect from in One Piece, like what's referred to it as that, where it's like you throw a punch at Weather Report and like the punch could like go through him because it's like a cloud. I do kind of like that. Some notable things Weather Report can also do. When Weather gets his memories back, he gets a move called Heavy Weather, which makes rainbows spawn like all over the world, or all over Florida. I don't remember which one it is. And people who look at the rainbow start receiving subliminal like waves to start turning into snails. That is just so bizarre that you like it. Like, I don't know, it's a top tier power. I just like the bizarreness of Weather Report. Other abilities it does have like rain manipulation. It can make clouds rain. It can manipulate the air and the wind, the humidity, the temperature. I think all of these powers are really good. It's just Weather Report is it's just not useful, but it has aura. But so yeah, I think it's an A tier. Yeah. Yeah, it's A. It's alright. Last stand we have is Diver Down. Another phenomenal design-wise stand from Araki. Great job, Mr. Hirohiko. This is the stand of Anasui, another character I really like in Part 6. Diver Down has two big abilities, to where its main ability is, I don't know how to describe it, like impact manipulation. Like, for example, punches a door like multiple times, and Diver Down can decide like when the impact of the blows is going to start affecting the door, and then it works. But another thing, Diver Down can also like go into things and like rearrange them, such as when, the big example is when Anasui made Diver Down put a frog brain in Yo-Yo Ma, that stand. I think the bros of Part 6, I think Diver Down is going to be an A with Weather Report, because, you know, they're the bros of Part 6. So, yeah, I think that's it. We got 3 S tiers in one video. That's awesome. Yeah. I think a lot of Part 6 stands are good and well designed, and I just love Part 6, so, yeah. Be on the lookout for the next video, where, as you can see, we're going to be diving into Green Dolphin State Prison inmates. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Alright, everyone, welcome back to part 11 of Jojo's stand rankings. Last episode we looked at the Green Dolphin escapees. Now we're going to be looking at the not so fortunate people of Green Dolphin State Prison that haven't escaped. We're going to be looking at their stands. So first up we have Go-Go Dolls, or Goo Goo Dolls, I don't know which one it is. This is the stand of Gwes, Jolene's cellmate. And this stand's ability is that it can shrink anyone who is in its radius. Like, it shrinks people down in its radius. It's not really that useful, honestly. And Gwes was kind of using it, like, in a pretty messed up way. She was having, like, people, like, be like a bird, like a little parrot. I think this is a C tier. Nothing too crazy about Go-Go Dolls, but it was an interesting first enemy, I guess. We did get Ratline out of this stand. That is something of note. Next up we have Manhattan Transfer. This is the stand of John Gallia. Manhattan Transfer is a stand with it's got like two sub-abilities. Its first ability is it can read wind currents, which for a normal person like me or you is probably not so good. But for its user, because John Gallier is blind, that is like amazing for him. And its other ability is that it can redirect bullets. So kinda in a way, it is a worse version of Sex Pistols. Because if I want to stand that can redirect bullets, I'm gonna go for Sex Pistols and not Manhattan Transfer. Maybe if I was blind, I would pick it over Sex Pistols. But fortunately, I'm not blind. Next up we have Highway to Hell. This is the stand of McQueen. This was one of the guards for Green Dolphin State Prison. So what the stand does is it shares its damage. That's like what it actually does. It's damage sharing, but it's mainly just used to show off. Like, I can see like a common misconception on how like the stand is, oh, if I kill myself, you're gonna die. But I mean, yeah, that is technically how it works. But it is damage sharing. I don't think you would get any use of this IRL. I think even, alright, IRL, this stand is probably like one of the worst ones to have. But even in like a series like Jojo's, that stand is still C tier. I think Highway to Hell is. I think we got our first Part 6 D tier. I think we do. Yeah. I just can't see it being any higher, personally. Next up, we have Marilyn Monson. I personally really like Marilyn Monson. I don't remember who the user is, but this was the villain where it, like, Jolene and Foo Fighters had to keep playing catch, basically. So what Marilyn Monson does, you have to make, for it to even start, you have to make a bet. And if you lose the bet, like if you're betting money, you have to pay it that amount. And if you can't do it, it's just going to start taking like organs from you. Like, I think it took like an organ out of Hermes and like put it into the dead. But kind of like what I just said with Highway to Hell, usefulness probably like C tier, but personally, I like it. I like its design. I like the arc. I think it's A. Yeah, I do think it is A. I think it's A. All right, next up we have Jumpin' Jack Flash. Did this one have two abilities? I don't remember. I know its main ability is it does. It's got a main ability and like a sub ability kind. Its main ability is gravity removal, and you kind of just like floating up like woo woo woo. That in itself is kind of good. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I think this is a C tier stand. But its sub ability is that like in the stand's body it has like these screws that it can just shoot out. I don't think Jumpin' Jack Flash is that good, personally. But maybe somebody can tell me about this in the comments. Maybe somebody can give me the hype of Jumping Jack Flash. Next up we have Limp Bizkit. This is the stand of what's his name? Oh, it's on the tip. It's on the tip of my tongue. Oh, I can't remember. Hermes is like main villain. What was his name? Sports Maximum. Fuck yes, I got it. Alright, Sports Maximum. This is the stand of Sports Maximum. This stand reanimates things from the dead. That's so cool. It makes zombies. And I think at one point it even makes like invisible zombies. Personally, I don't really care. I think this is another C tier stand. Yeah, and personally, I'm not a big fan of like the Sports Maximum arc. Yeah, sorry, Sports Maxi. Next up we have Survivor. This is often considered what is to be one of the worst stands in JoJo's, just for like what it is. Basically, all it does, it's like, it boosts people's anger, and it can go up to like an absurd amount. And just like everyone else, I think this is D tier. Can't really do much with it in the real world or real life. Sorry, Survivor. Next up we have Planet Waves. Planet Waves is the stand of one of the prison guards that was in like the max security for Green Dolphin State Prison. And basically what this does, it is just meteorite attraction. Like it calls for a meteorite in space. Is it as bad as some of the stands in D tier? I'm gonna say no, but it is like, I do think it is bottom C. Personally. I just don't really see like calling a space rock to Earth is going to do, other than like help kill people. Like you'd have to be like a fighter or a killer to get any of use of this in like real life. Next up we have Dragon's Dream. Dragon's Dream is a stand of one of like the prisoners that was in like the max security place. And what this does is it tells you like lucky places to go. Is it just fights? Like it just helps you in fights? I don't remember, but I think we have another C tier stand. Plus side, it talks to you, so I guess like if you want like a friend or if you're really lonely, you can talk to the dragon. Yeah, I just think like, I mean, it could help you in some scenarios, like maybe if you like avoid getting hit by like a ball or something, it could tell you like, hey, go over there. I think it's also like secretive on what it tells you, like it doesn't like elaborate. I think it's pretty mid. We're getting a lot of C tiers. 5 C tiers? No, 6 C tiers. Dang. Next up we have Yo-Yo Ma. Yo-Yo Ma is a fat little bastard. Editor, pull up a picture of him. And this is another stand that is like, hey, and it like talks to you, and it's like, it's very friendly at first, and it has a really high intelligence, but when no one's looking, it burns its target away with its acid saliva. Not useful really, but I'm thinking B tier honestly. I don't think he's that bad. Like you could, basically Yo-Yo Ma is a rage baiting JoJo stand. That is what it is, and I think for what it's worth, I think that is pretty funny. And we now have a stand in B tier. We got a part 6 stand and all the tiers now. I don't remember the name of this stand off the top of my head. But I will pull up what it is on the screen. But this is a stand that shrinks things. It's like it like shrinks things the closer you get to it. It makes something its target, and as Jolene and Anasui like approach the green baby, For example, they were following the green baby, and as they got closer to it, they kept shrinking, like down, 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 and down as they got closer. That's this stand's ability. I think C, because personally, if I wanted a stand that was shrinking things, I think we're gonna go to B tier's Little Feet. Or if I can't get Little Feet, I think I'm gonna want Go-Go Dolls. Alright, next stand, final stand of the video, we have Jailhouse Lock. Inverse, this is a very scary stand. What this stand does, it makes it to where the person who is affected by this stand cannot remember more than 3 things, and when they remember a 3rd thing, that first thing they tried to remember is forgotten. And I think that is pretty scary as like a stand, just like as a concept, because what the stand has done before, it like traps people in like thinking limbo, and it also affects the people around you. Like, for example, Jolene was like, everybody in the prison was like wanting to watch a movie, and she like ruined it. Don't remember. Yeah, she like spoiled the movie. I think, but I think this stand is pretty good. I like its freaky design. I think we're gonna go with B tier. I think that's a nice place to put it. And yeah, we're almost done with part 6. We covered the residents, or the inmates of Green Dolphin State Prison. And in the next video, we're going to be covering Poochie's stands and Dio's children. So look out for that video next. Alright everyone, welcome back to more Jojo stand rankings. This is episode 12, and we're going to be covering up the tier list with Dio's children and the 3 stands of Father Poochie, the main antagonist of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 6, Stolen Ocean. Anyway, first stand, this is Bohemian Rhapsody. This is the stand of Dio's best child, best looking, best physically, best story, best emotionally, the GOAT, the undisputed Unglow. Bohemian Rhapsody, the stand allows you to bring fictional characters into the real world. Really cool ability, somewhat, but it has a sub ability kinda. If you know the character, like if you know the character at all, even if you recognize that character subconsciously, you become a character in the story. Like, for example, when Anasui was dealing with Bohemian Rhapsody, he recognized like Red Riding Hood and became like the big bad wolf. I think if it was just bringing fictional characters into the real world, it would be S. But I still see the goatedness of Bohemian Rhapsody, and I think it is pretty funny. I think it's still a B tier, honestly. Yeah, maybe it's not always bad either. Maybe you could get something good. I think it's gonna stay in B. Next up we have, I think this is Sky High. I think it is called that. If I'm wrong, I'll put it up like what it actually is. This is the stand of Dio's other child, Raquel. I think that's how it's called, Raquel. Or Raquel, I don't know which one it is. But this stand is very strange, as this stand manipulates like a cryptid, like a creature that might not exist. And that creature is they're called rods. And what rods do is, they're like these squirmy little creatures that fly around and they suck warmth out of things. Honestly, it's not that good. I'm thinking C tier. I mean, realistically, what could you do other than like being an assassin could you do with this stand? I just don't really see much. This is a very, it's a good stand in verse, not a good stand in real life. Like if I had to stand in the verse, it'd probably be B. But I'm kind of trying to take this whole tier list like a 50-50 approach, like looking at all the stands in all the ways. And I just don't know. I just don't see it being above C tier. Next up we have Underworld. This is the stand of Donatello. What Underworld does is, I think you can look through people's memories with it, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure you can like resurface through people's memories. But this stand actually has, it has like a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's gotta have like a, you gotta do like a ritual with it. As in, you have to dig this hole for it to use its main ability, which is like memory playback. Well, it's better than Moody Blues playback, where you can basically like have a one-to-one recreation of that moment, like when Underworld trapped Jolene and Hermes in the plane that was gonna crash. I think this is another C tier. I think Angelo was the only one of Dio's children that had the better stands. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it in C. Alright, next we're gonna starting with Father Poochie. First up we have White Snake. This is one I have already thought about off camera, and I do think it is S tier because personally, in my opinion, out of all of Poochie's 3 stands, I think White Snake is the best. It's got 2 abilities before, like, the time ability. It has the disc feature, which in itself, if it was just the disc ability, it would still just be S tier. Because the ability to just take disc out of people, and it being, like, their memory and that person, and you can just put it in yourself or another person, that is just so good and just so helpful. White Snake, with that ability, it's kind of like a lesser Heaven's Door. Kinda. You can even take people's stands with it and your own, and I just think I think that's pretty cool. Like, imagine you're in the verse. Imagine you're in Jojo's and you're like this really cool character and your stand just gets stolen. I think White Snake has aura. White Snake definitely has aura. And I really like its design too. I love the design it has going, and I like its color palette. But its other ability, it's got a little sub ability. It does stuff with like acid, as it can like disguise itself. Like Poochie disguised himself as Weather Report, and it tricked Jolene into giving him the green baby. And speaking of the green baby, we are going to start with Sea Moon. Sea Moon is the second stand of Poochie. And what this does, it can change the shift of gravity. Other than its design, I don't think it's that good. But I do like its design. Is gravity shifting that bad? Could it be? I mean, you could get somewhere faster. I mean, free travel. You would have to like time it really right. Like, imagine like you wanting to do something, like you're on the boardwalk and you're like, man, I really just wanna, I just want to take this all in with some quiet. Shift gravity, everybody falls off. Boom. I think it's B tier. Next up, we have Made in Heaven. This is the final stand of Poochie. And what this stand does is that it accelerates time. I'll be honest, S tier. Just from design alone, it's an amazing looking stand. I like it's very unique. I think out of all the stands, it is probably one of the better designs. I love the Centaur look, and I love its face. And I really like Made in Heaven. I think that's it. I think we're done with the tier list. Wow. Star Platinum all the way to Made in Heaven. It has been a long video series, but it's finally over. Wait, do y'all hear that? What is that? No, no, this can't be. No, I thought the series was over. No, the tier list. I have to finish. I got the stands. I got all the stands you sent me on the tier list. I'll get to ranking them as soon as possible. All right, see you later, Mr. Valentine. Hey, it's finally me, the Jojo stand ranking guy. I know it's been a while since we did this, and you know, with the Steel Ball Run trailer coming out and we finally getting to look at them characters in anime form, I think it's time we dive into this new universe together and take a look at all these stands. In this episode, I'm going to be going over the stands of the racers, you know, Johnny, Gyro, Diego, Poco Loco, Hot Pants, etc., etc. So here we got Tusk Act 1. This is the first act of Tusk and is the stand of our MC, Johnny Joestar. Tusk Act 1, his ability is that it gives Johnny the ability to spin his nails, and that's kind of it. Tusk is a very progressive stand, as it kind of starts out weak and like over the series and the race it just gets stronger. But the ability to just spin your nails, it's low-key C tier. But I do like Tusk Act 1, you know, he's a cute little guy. He's like a little animal. He also looks like sad. So I'm gonna give him B tier. First stand of the new verse, and it's B tier. So, that's something. Here we have Tusk Act 2. Tusk Act 2 is an upgraded version of Tusk Act 1. And is the same. Johnny's fingernails are basically given an upgrade, and they're given like drill-like proportions. Which I mean, it's better. It's better. I think the design isn't that good, but it is better. I'll put this in B tier as well. Tusk Act 3. Its ability is that it can make like spiraling holes that Johnny can like reach in and like interact with and like poke through and stuff. I think this is better than both of the other acts. Very nice, very Gucci. A lot of potential with that. Like you can get a lot of use out of that IRL. And last up for the Tusk, we have Tusk Act 4. This is S. Really like the design of Tusk Act 4. Tusk Act 4's ability is that it can infinitely rotate people, and you could potentially do a lot with that, and it can also bypass stuff like D4C Love Train and all that stuff. And basically, Tusk Act 4 hard counters probably every stand in the verse. It's definitely one of the strongest. Next up we have Gyro's Zappelli stand, Ball Breaker. The thing with Ball Breaker is that it didn't really do much, and we didn't really get to see what all it did. But if this is just the source of like the spinning balls, or if this is the reason, well, how Ball Breaker was summoned was because of an imperfect like ball throw due to Gyro, and I think people speculate that it would have functioned as like Tusk Act 2 and would have just been a stronger like upgrade for Gyro. I might be wrong about that, but if I'm gonna put it in C tier, its design is cool. It's very unique looking. Next up we have Oh Lonesome Me. This is the stand of Mountain Tim, and he can split his body up, and they're all like connected by rope. when I first seen this stand, it kind of clicked with me that this is just a lesser version of the Bara Bara Numi from One Piece or the Chop Chop fruit, and I still stand by that, so I am going to put it in C tier. I just don't think it's that good. Next up we have Heya. Heya is the GOAT, Poco Loco is the GOAT. This is the stand of Poco Loco. Kinda like Ball Breaker, Heya doesn't really have a known ability, and a lot of people speculate it's luck manipulation, but Heya mainly functions as an advisor to Poco Loco and tells him like where to go, what to do, and he often hypes him up, telling him he's got this and that. I think a stand like that is cool, and I like the design of Heya, and I'm a little biased. Poco Loco is probably like my favorite racer in the Still Ball run. Yes, he's better than Johnny. Yes, he's better than Gyro, better than Diego. My GOAT, Poco Loco, won the Still Ball run. Easy.
Scary monsters!
Alright, next up we got Scary Monsters. This is the stand of Diego. S tier. Scary Monsters is probably my second favorite stand of the part. And I like Diego. I think I like Diego more than Dio. And Scary Monsters is just peak. I like how he can turn people into dinosaurs. I like the dinosaur he turns into. And I like the arc of like where Johnny and Gyro fight him on like the Rocky Mountains. And also like how Diego's a reoccurring character. But the stand itself is goated. Like good mobility, versatility. The only thing bad about it is that you're like they're going for like a lore accurate dinosaur where their eyesight is like really bad. Oh, and I also like that little like demi dinosaur form Diego has, where his teeth sharpens, he gets a tail. I think that's pretty cool. Next up we have Cream Starter. This is the stand of Hot Pants. I'm gonna give this an A tier. This is like a support stand. I think this is a really good stand for a really like good side character. I love Hot Pants. She's like a very good like Jojo side character. Basically what Cream Starter does, it acts as, it's like liquid flesh that acts as like a healing thing, and it can also be something that's like interacting with, like she could like do stuff with it maybe, but it's mainly just used as healing wounds and stuff. And I think stands like that are pretty good support stands, so I'm gonna give Cream Starter in there. Next up we have A Silent Way. This is the stand of Sandman. Really disappointed the way they went with Sandman. I personally really liked him until he became a villain. But his stand is pretty cool. So what A Silent Way does, it basically makes sound like living things. Like henchmen basically, like little minions. And they even have like a homunculus stage and they like grow, and I think that's really cool. And the stand design, like the Indian thing, it's absolutely fire. I'm gonna put this in A tier. I don't think, yeah, I'm gonna keep it in A. If any of you have something to say about A Silent Way, please comment below. The stand is pretty cool. I just don't really know much about it, but I do like Sandman. Sandman's the GOAT. Of Tomb of the Boom, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna rank these three all together because I think they all have they all somewhat have the same stand abilities, as it's like all related to magnetism. These are the stands of the Boom Boom family. Basically, I know one of them has iron manipulation, and the other one has magnetism. I'll put them all in B tier. pretty cool. I just don't really like the Boom Boom family. Like, that whole arc, in my opinion, for the Boom Boom family to be like the first like villain stand users that the Johnny and Gyro face, I didn't really like it, honestly. That might just be me though. For our last stand, we have Boku no Rhythm Wu Kitakiri. I probably said that wrong, but I tried. This is the stand of Onyekoma. I might have said that wrong as well. Basically, this is Great Value Killer Queen, as it's another bomb related stand and it makes bombs, like it turns things into bombs. I'll give this. Alright, if this is Great Value Killer Queen, I probably should give it A, because the ability to make things bombs is really good. Just not in the real world. Yeah, I'm fine with putting it today. I also like its design. I really like the stand designs that kind of like go far-fetched and a little bit crazy like this one. But that is it for the racers. Let me know what you think of the rankings down below. Next video we'll probably just be talking about some of just the miscellaneous stands. Characters like Pork Pie Hat Kid, Lucy Steele, Blackmore, all them. And mark your calendars, because tomorrow, episode 3 of Let's Go Hunting Fandub will be coming out, so be on the lookout for that. If you're still watching, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. We're back with ranking Jojo stands in part 7, Still Ball Run. So we're going to be taking a look and ranking the stands of the antagonist from this part. But before we dive too deep into the antagonist, we first quickly need to do Lucy Steele and her stand. Before we do the villains, we quickly need to do Lucy Steele's stand, which is called Ticket to Ride. And it's given to her after she messes with the body part of Jesus, and she gets the ability. So she's given 2 abilities. Ticket to Ride. First ability, when she cries, she can use, like, they harden and become like stakes, and she can use them as knives. Pretty cool. Imagine like you're getting beat by an opponent and you start crying, and like he like makes fun of you, like, oh, you little pussy, you're crying. Then you just grab the tear and like stab him. But its other ability is much cooler. It is basically like kind of fortunate, as she can get herself out of any situation with like directing luck. Basically, for example, it's like Final Destination and like how it kills people. Like, for an example, there's like 2 people trying to capture her after she escapes the president's like quarters, and like they get stopped because she like knocks over a bottle and it like spirals into a big mess. That could be pretty good. I just don't really see that being that good for the real world, unless like you're like a criminal. So even though I did say the tier stakes were cool, it's not that cool. Next up, speaking of not cool stands, next up we have Wired, which is the stand of Pork Pie Hat Kid. I don't think he has a name, and that's just what he's referred to as. But what Wired does, you get like a towing wire in your mouth, and like you can like throw out the hook and stuff. That's genuinely it. I'm gonna put this in D tier. It's really not that great. Next up, we have Mandem. Mandem is really interesting. This is the stand of Ringo Rodigan, one of JoJo's best side villains. Mandem is the first stand in the series that can rewind time. It rewinds 6 seconds. And that is just really cool. Its design is also really sick. I'm gonna give it an S. I think Mandem deserves it. And what Ringo Rodigan does, I don't know if he actually has to do this or if this is just him aura farming, but when he uses Mandem sometimes, he like rewinds his watch. I think that's really sick. But yeah, just the ability to rewind time even 6 seconds is really good. If Dio can make the most out of like the 5-6 seconds he got when he used the world, you can surely find something to do with Mandem. Like if you make a mistake, you could just quickly fix it. So, I think it'd be pretty good. Alright, next stand is Catch the Rainbow. This is the stand of Blackmore. If any of you have watched some of the older stand ranking videos where I specifically pointed out a couple stands, one of those stands being Highway Star as a personal favorite, Catch the Rainbow is another personal favorite. S tier. Its design is fire. Even if it's the mask, it's really cool. What Catch the Rainbow does, you can like transport and walk on rain. And that is just really cool. And how Blackmore uses it is just, it's aura. Like if you want aura in the JoJo's verse, you want this stand. And this could be good even IRL, where like imagine like you live in like a rainy country or like a country that has like rainy seasons like Japan. You would be a menace with this stand. And also the poses and the artwork for Blackmore and Catch the Rainbow, just chef kiss. I wish he would have done more. Blackmore is the one JoJo's character I wish who would have done more. Next stand we have Sugar Mountain. This is like the stand of like that weird little girl in the snow forest. But Sugar Mountain is a really weird stand, as it has like 2 parts. There's the Trial of Greed, which when you walk into... Oh yeah, hold up, let me back up. The stand is a tree, by the way. Like a giant tree too. But the Trial of Greed, you walk into the tree and you drop something and like some water. And you get asked, did you drop whatever you dropped? You know, I'll use Gyro for example. When Gyro walks into Sugar Mountain, he drops his still ball in the water. But when looking in the water, there's like a diamond and a gold nugget. And he just takes his still ball. And the little girl is like, oh, you passed the trial. You can have both of them. And he's like, sweet. And if you pass the Trial of Greed, you get to the trial, to its second trial. I don't really remember its name. It's like Avariance. But whatever you ask for, you'll get. Like, for example, in the series, Gyro gets money. So if you ask Sugar Mountain for money, you have to spend it all before the sun sets or you're going to die. This stand honestly kinda sucks. You would have to be insanely careful with what you do with it and how it works. I'm gonna put it in D tier, honestly. It's mid. Alright, next stand we have Tattoo You. This is the stand of the 11 men. And what this does, they all like can get in this tattoo, and they can all also come out of it. But I think the tattoo can all, wait, no, I think it's on all 11 on them. Basically, this ability allows you to jump on to people. And it's like what they do. This is only good in like a group where you do like mercenary work. Maybe it could be like bank robbers or something. It's not as bad as Wired or Sugar Mountain though. I'm going to put it in the bottom of C tier. Next stand, we have Tubular Bells. This is the stand of Mike O, like a guard for Funny Valentine. This stand allows him to make dogs, like balloon dogs that kind of like function as real ones, where they can attack you and like sniff you out. I think this stand is pretty fire. I think it's kind of underrated, as you could do a lot. Even like you could make like little dog friends and whatnot. I think that's pretty cool. But it's not that useful as they are like balloons. You know, kind of like how Tattoo You is the bottom of C tier. I think Tubular Bells would be the top of C tier. Next up, we have 20th Century Boy. This is the stand of Magenta. I will admit, its design is really cool, really peak, but its ability ain't that good. So when Magenta activates it, if he's like, he has to stand perfectly still and becomes invulnerable to every attack. That's kind of it, and it kind of like it's his downfall as well, because he gets knocked into like a river and is like stuck there. He's like the new universe Cars, just stuck there. But I think its design is fire, and the name 20th Century Boy is really cool. I'm gonna give it B tier. Next up, we have Civil War. This is the stand of Axl Rowe. This stand is very unique, as it relies on your guilt, and it can materialize your guilt and how you feel into like forms, and it like messes with your head. This is like a very mental based stand. Like it messes with you, and you even can get rebirth from that guilt, which I'm pretty sure is how Johnny gets Tusk Act 3. Its design is also really cool. Like I've said multiple times, I'm a big fan of these stands that like look alienish and robotic, like this one. I think it's definitely on par with 20th Century Boy in terms of design, so I am going to give it B tier. Next up, we have Chocolate Disco, and how this works is, imagine with this stand, you make like a battleship field. Like there's tiles with like numbers, letters, and you can reposition anything in these like quadrants into a different one. And it really like messes with gyro. This would be pretty good in JoJo's, but in the real world, just not that good. So I am going to give it C tier. Next up, we have Alternate World, The World. This is the stand of Alternate World Diego. If you've seen the last videos, this is going to be S tier. The World is S tier. It's basically the exact same. It's just, this can only stop time for 5 seconds instead of like any longer time. We don't know if Alternate World Diego could have expanded that time like how Dio does, because he died off too fast. Next stand, we have Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, also known as D4C. This is the stand of Funny Valentine. I will be honest, one of my personal favorite stands, design-wise. Out of all the villains, it's my favorite stand. Funny Valentine is also my favorite villain in JoJo's. But what D4C does, when he goes in between things, he can enter an alternate world and do whatever he wants. And he can even pull people from alternate worlds, even if they're dead in his world, which is like the base world or home world, or the center world. I don't remember which one it's referred to. And if two things or people collide, like for example, when Weka Pipo collided with his alternate world self, they both died like pretty brutal deaths. D4C's goated. It's pity. And for our last stand in part 7, we have D4C Love Train. I will go ahead and admit this is also S tier. D4C Love Train is an upgrade to D4C, and what it does, it can redirect any misfortune onto anyone else. That is really busted, and it took Johnny to defeat this guy getting a more broken ability in the form of the Infinite Spiral. Can you imagine trying to like kill someone and like they have this, and like you go to shoot them, and like they use a love train, and like suddenly you shot like a hard working father of 4, just out of nowhere. So that concludes part 7. I know some of you at home are probably heartbroken that part 7 isn't going to get the 3-part like segment like most of the other parts do. It's just part 7 really didn't have how the other stand videos were formed. It was the main characters, it was side characters, side villains, then it was the final villains. Part 7 doesn't really have that, and I didn't really know how to split it up because part 7 is unique. Like, it doesn't have like a group, it just has Johnny and Gyro. But I mean, maybe I could have did it differently. Like, I could have did Johnny, Gyro, Diego, Hot Pants, and just those 4. And I could have did the rest of the Stole Ball Racers for the second video, and for the third video I could have done the villains. But like the actual series, I'll make part 7 unique. So, still in the process of reading part 8, which I will go ahead and tell you part 8 is probably only going to have 2 videos as well. But if you did like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.